Brian Van, sportbiketrackgear.com, and today we're going to install a set of the Yoshimura Axle Block adjusters on our 2015 STG Yamaha YZF-R1 project bike. Why would you do this? Okay, we're going to explain that. First is these are beautiful parts. They're going to look phenomenal on the motorcycle. Right, that's one easy answer. See how this is machined, right, to accept the axle on it, so it's held in there nice and captured. We got the cool anodizing, right? Their new works finish is great. Another reason to do this is it allows for greater range of adjustability with your rear axle. Okay, and I'm going to illustrate this better when I have the axle out, but essentially, if you install the axle blocks so that the thin portion is facing towards the front of the bike, towards the engine, that's going to give you stock adjustability range. If you flip it 180 degrees, you can see how that increases the spacing. So the screws can be moved out less while pushing the axle further back. So from a performance perspective, that would be a reason to do that if you're really trying to dial in that wheelbase of your motorcycle. Remember, especially on a bike like this, a longer wheelbase is really going to help control, right, how much the wheel stays on the ground. Okay, you know, if you don't want it wheeling as easily, a little longer wheelbase can influence that. A little longer wheelbase can also enhance stability, right? It might slow the cornering down a little bit, but it can also enhance stability. So you may want to try that for those reasons. Tools to do it, simple stuff. First thing you're going to have to do is make sure you got a set of swing arm spools on here. We got our Yosh swing arm spool kit installed. We're going to use a Pitbull rear stand. You can use a standard style rear stand that's going to pick it up, right, using the flats here on the swing arm. Personally, I don't like that. It's less stable, less trustworthy. The spools are the best way to do it with a sport bike. So that is the first thing we're going to use. Second thing we're going to use is my brand new favorite tool, the Pitbull Pit Crew tire wedge. Put this bad boy on the stand, use the thumb crank, crank it up. I am now supporting the tire, so when I pull the axle, the tire does not fall down. You can use this also when you change tires. It's phenomenal tool. Big ratchet, big socket, break loose our axle nut. Remember, if you don't feel comfortable doing the process we're showing you here, take your bike into a licensed mechanic. They're going to do it for you. That way you can count on it being done right. We will reuse the nut. We will reuse the washer. Push the axle through. This is being replaced. Pull the axle all the way out like so. Okay. And now let's go ahead and I'll show you what I'm talking about here a little closer. Okay. When this is on the axle like so, and the thinnest portion is pointing towards the engine, okay, stock level of adjustment. Flip this bad boy 180 degrees and you can see how much more adjustment you're picking up. You've got a good ½ an inch there. To install, let's go ahead and slide the axle like so, and look at how that's captured in there, right? I'm going to use the stock position for my purposes today. Get that axle put through there, like so. And let's grab the adjuster for this side. Throw that into place. Stock washer. Something else I like to do, right, is I'm going to take this wrench right here, I'm going to wedge it in between the sprocket, if you want to come over here, Tyler, in between the rear sprocket and the chain. And what this is going to do, it's going to kind of create some tension, pulling the axle forward, right, so it's firmly against the adjuster blocks. Once I've got that held in place, I'll be able to snug this down. They have a torque spec recommended on the instruction sheet. I personally am not a big fan of using a torque wrench. I have nothing against it, I just choose not to use it. I'm pretty comfortable with the torque. If you're not, follow what they have on there or use Google as a reference and research the stock torque spec. Now take a look at this. Okay, first off, okay, we replaced this plain block of aluminum with that gorgeous piece. And come on over the other side, you can see this really looks beautiful over here, really sets it off very nicely. And then you also pick up the advantage of being able to have the axle further back in the swing arm without having the screws out a tremendous amount. Next thing that you'd have to do, and I'm not going to do it because we're going to put a chain kit on this before I ride it next, but check your chain tension. You just changed this, right? Maybe the bike was already due for a chain adjustment. You're going to want to go ahead and adjust the deflection and make sure it is within allowable tolerances. This is our Yoshimura axle block adjuster install on our 2015 Yamaha YZF-R1.